Alright guys, in today's video we are talking about the upcoming PlayStation 5 exclusive Returnal, as we have some new gameplay info and details to go over and talk about here. Now, I think when it comes to Returnal, it's a new IP from Housemarque. A lot of people are still very unsure about what to expect from this game, mainly because it's being marketed and sold as a AAA title. Now, based off of everything I've seen, I think it looks really good and I think it looks promising, but I do understand why some people are still holding their reservations for this title. So I thought it would be a good idea to go over what they're saying here about the gameplay to maybe help give everybody a better idea of what the gameplay in this title is going to be like. So before we get into it, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button to help the video out and show your support. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and hit the notification bell as well. But this was written up over on the official PlayStation blog by Harry Kruger. He is the creative director over at Housemarque Games. And it says, "Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the recent videos we've shared about Returnal. With the latest update, we wanted to share some more details about the gameplay, which we know you've all been looking forward to. With Returnal, we've aimed to blend a unique mix of game styles that combines our trademark explosive arcade action, responsive controls, and bullet hell gameplay, and this time it's all presented in third person. There will be fast and frenetic combat and intense gunplay, and also some rich exploration and traversal as you explore the procedurally generated environments of Atropos, which I think is the name of the planet this game takes place on. We've created Returnal to be a challenging and rewarding experience with enough variety and depth to keep you always coming back for one more go." So it goes on here to explain more about the combat in detail, specifically talking about the weapons. So it says, "Celine will have many weapons and devices at her disposal to survive on the hostile alien planet Atropos. Some she's brought with her, others she's found and made her own. The above video shows some of the various abilities you'll find while playing Returnal, which we'll dive into below." So you should see that video playing in the background. "The game features a number of base weapons that are augmented as you play. For example, the living spit maul blaster weapon starts as a shotgun archetype, and you all know and love that. As you progress, you'll unlock and add on various weapon traits, each providing a unique gameplay modifier to the base weapon's behavior. These weapon traits are custom tailored for each gun type, so your Spitmaul blaster might gain exploding shells or generate acid pools upon impact, while the Electro Pylon driver might extract extra loot from enemies or generate shields for the player. These weapon traits will also stack, so the combined effects can lead to many surprising results that can have unique advantages and playstyles to explore." It goes on to say each weapon will also have an alternate fire mode randomly assigned to it from our diverse pool, ranging from the electrical impulses of the shock stream to the tentacles of the tendril pod and everything in between. These can be used without ever taking your finger off the trigger using the default control scheme. With the adaptive trigger on the DualSense controller, just press L2 halfway to aim down the sights and use the main fire of your weapon and squeeze it all the way down to enter your alternate fire mode. With 10 base weapons, more than 90 weapon traits, each with 3 levels, and 10 alternate fire modes, there are numerous weapon combinations to test out on your journey. While new weapon drops are frequent, Celine can only hold one weapon at a time, so your choice is important. Different challenges and enemies will also require different strategies to overcome, so you need to be constantly adapting, experimenting with different weapons, and developing your skills to survive on the hostile planet. Now, I do like what I'm hearing here. It sounds like there is a lot of diversity between the way these different traits work together and the results that they create. So it will be interesting to see if this really does give this game that feeling of depth within the combat that it seems they're trying to convey here. It does sound pretty cool to me, so it really does seem like it's one of those things where I'm going to have to try it myself to really kind of know if this is as layered and as, you know, if there's as much depth here as they're making it sound. But it continues here by saying, "Making progress. For Celine, death is no escape. Each death sends Celine to the start of the time loop, just moments before crashing on the planet. Most abilities and items collected on the previous cycle will be lost, but not all of them. Some persist across sessions, so you'll still make progress every cycle." So that's good news, because that's one thing that some people don't like about these type of games is, you know, once you die, You start with nothing, but you do save some things here. One of these persisting elements is the mysterious Chthonios, an alien device that generates a random item at the beginning of each cycle. This otherworldly device is tracking your performance, and when enough progress is accumulated, you will be rewarded with a brand new item for immediate use, which will also be permanently added to the pool of available loot from that point on as well. The items you earn or discover as you explore the planet will change the way you play and offer a wide array of effects and strategic options for Celine. They can be offensive tools like the Dismantler, a smart bomb style explosion which annihilates all enemies around you, defensive consumables like the Kinetic Siphon, which restores health through melee kills, or the more strategic artifacts that give Celine some unique advantages under certain conditions. It continues here talking about risk and reward. There's plenty of loot to be found on Atropos, but be wary that not all that glitters is gold. Some items, called parasites, have both positive and negative effects. You need to think twice before picking up a parasite that, for example, regenerates you while at low health, but also causes enemies to leave behind a pool of acid on death. Collecting parasites will often feel like a risky decision, but there are multiple other scenarios that can help shift the odds in your favor, like, for example, carrying an artifact that can increase your max health for every parasite you've attached. There are so many other cases where risk and reward will come into play, which can all drastically alter how each cycle plays out. You might encounter a cursed container that can be holding valuable loot, but opening it might trigger a random suit malfunction, which, for example, can damage Celine every time she uses door and chest opening keys, and can only be repaired by collecting a large number of obolites, which I don't know what those are. It says obolites can be exchanged for valuable items to increase your chances of survival, but if you're on a good run, you might prefer to spend them on activating a checkpoint. Die and you'll resurrect there with your current items and abilities rather than restarting the cycle. These are just a few quick examples of the many interesting scenarios and tough decisions you will be facing. Returnal will be available starting March 19th. Stay tuned as we bring you mode details in the upcoming weeks. So I will be following this, obviously, but I think this is a lot of really good information about this title. And what's strange to me, to be completely honest, is that Sony isn't doing a state of play for this game. I feel like everything that I'm reading right now is something that the developer could be talking about in a state of play, featuring gameplay, kind of like we saw with Ghost of Tsushima last year, as well as The Last of Us Part 2. I think that format is perfect. We also saw it for Demon Souls as well. I think it's a perfect format, and who knows, maybe we will still get a state of play. It is worth noting that we have seen Sony put out multiple blog posts talking about these games in depth, and then later on did a state of play. So I think there's still a good chance we will get a Returnal dedicated state of play before this game launches, but this is some really good information about the gameplay, and I have to admit, it does sound very diverse. It does sound like there is a lot here on offer, but it really does still come off to me as like I'm going to have to experience it for myself to see just how much it kind of hooks me in. What does seem pretty apparent here is that every playthrough is going to offer something different and unique. I do have to wonder how much that's actually going to carry this game, though. And we know that there is a story involved here, so I don't know if they're going to talk more about that later on, or if it's just going to be something that's kind of tacked on. I hope it's not just a tacked on story. I hope it's actually something like meaningful and good. I hope it's something that makes me feel like I really do want to progress in the game. That's something I look forward to in a lot of Sony's exclusives, is with that meaningful story, it really does add a huge incentive to want to continue to progress and keep going forward. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing about Returnal. I think it's a game that is unfortunately falling a little bit under the radar. I don't think it has the same hype levels as other titles, but it is a new IP, and I'm excited for it because of that. I think Housemarque is very well respected, and I think at this point, the only thing that people really want to know is this going to be worth $70? You know, and obviously that will be subjective, but I think once the reviews come out, once people finally get their hands on this game, they'll be able to tell you after like a full playthrough whether or not it really is worth $70 or not. So Yeah, that does it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about some of these gameplay details for Returnal? We'll be interested to see what you have to say. Leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.